At 1:55 a.m., a 27-year-old medical student was captured on security camera entering a bar in Columbus, Ohio. Investigators later reviewed the footage. They accounted for every patron who left the building that night, except one. Brian Shaffer was never seen exiting. He has not been seen since. Columbus, Ohio, March 31st, 2006. The Arena District was active that evening. Bars were full. Spring break had just begun. Brian Shaffer, a second-year medical student at Ohio State University, met his father, Randy, for dinner around 9 p.m. Brian's mother had died from cancer only weeks earlier. According to his father, he appeared tired from exams but in good spirits. Later that evening, Brian joined his friend William Clint Florence at the Ugly Tuna Saloona, a bar located on the second floor of the South Campus Gateway complex. The building was modern and heavily surveilled. Multiple cameras monitored entrances and exits. Shortly after midnight, the group moved between bars before eventually returning to the Ugly Tuna Saloona. By 1:15 a.m., Brian was back inside. Within 40 minutes, he would disappear. At 1:50 a.m., CCTV cameras recorded Brian standing outside the entrance to the bar. He was speaking with two young women. The interaction appeared casual. At 1:55 a.m., Brian stepped toward the entrance. The camera captured him near the doorway. This is the final confirmed digital record of Brian Shaffer. After that moment, there is no footage showing him exiting the bar. The Ugly Tuna Saloona closed at 2 a.m. Clint Florence and Meredith Reed, who had been with Brian earlier, waited outside. They expected him to emerge. He did not. They assumed he had left separately. Perhaps he had walked home. Perhaps he had gone elsewhere. They did not immediately report him missing. The next morning, he failed to respond to calls. The disappearance became apparent. The South Campus Gateway complex was not a small, unmonitored structure. The main entrance to the bar was covered by a pan-tilt zoom camera. Investigators carefully reviewed the footage from 1:55 a.m. onward. They identified and accounted for every visible patron leaving the premises. Brian was not among them. There was a secondary exit. A construction area adjacent to the building led to an unfinished portion of the complex. Investigators examined this possibility. They noted that navigating that route in darkness would have been difficult. Police conducted extensive searches. K-9 units were deployed. Elevator shafts were inspected. The construction site was examined. No physical trace of Brian was discovered. No blood, no clothing, no personal items. The building yielded nothing. Brian's vehicle was located parked near his apartment. His wallet remained undisturbed. His bank accounts showed no suspicious activity. His passport was not used. His apartment appeared normal. There was no sign of preparation for travel. No evidence of voluntary disappearance was confirmed. His cell phone became another point of focus. On the Monday following his disappearance, his girlfriend, Alexis Wagoner, called his phone. It rang 3 times before going to voicemail. Cellular pings placed the signal near a tower in Hilliard, approximately 14 miles from downtown Columbus. The phone has never been recovered. Attention turned to those closest to Brian. Clint Florence, the last known friend to see him, cooperated with police interviews. he declined to take a polygraph examination on the advice of counsel. This decision generated public speculation. Authorities never named him as a suspect. Investigators also examined Brian's emotional state. He had recently lost his mother. Medical school pressures were significant. Some theorized he may have intentionally disappeared to begin a new life. His family strongly disputed this theory. There was no financial preparation, no digital trail, no confirmed contact after 1:55 a.m. Every scenario encountered a central contradiction. If he left voluntarily, how did he leave without being captured on camera? If he encountered foul play, where did it occur? No forensic evidence answered those questions. The case gained national attention because of its apparent impossibility. Security footage is often treated as definitive. It captures entry. It captures exit. It documents movement. In this instance, it documented only entry. Investigators reviewed the recordings repeatedly, frame by frame. They concluded that Brian was not visible exiting through the monitored entrance. The secondary construction exit remained a theoretical possibility. However, no confirmed evidence placed him there. Years later, in 2021, an online image surfaced suggesting a possible sighting of an older Brian. The FBI reviewed the image. It was determined not to be him. The case remains open. Brian Shaffer has never been located. No remains have been found. No suspect has been charged. The South Campus Gateway complex still stands. The footage from April 1, 2006, remains part of the investigative record. A 1:55 a.m. timestamp marks the final confirmed moment of his presence. After that, there is silence. A crowded bar, multiple cameras, a documented entrance, no documented exit. The investigation accounts for every visible patron. One individual remains unaccounted for. The question is not simply where Brian Shaffer went. It is how he left. That answer has never been established. The case remains unresolved. This is Obscura Case, where every mystery deserves to be remembered.